Hi guys, again it's me Solly. Welcome to Big Screen Nation. I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars today. I'll let you know how it goes. Right, I've just come out the cinema and this one is gonna be a spoiler. This one's gonna be a spoiler. Hi everyone. I've just got in from Star Wars and I've spent a lot of time thinking on the way home. This one is actually hard to review because I've watched all the Star Wars films. This one seems like a Star Wars film. It doesn't feel out of place at all. But to me, it wasn't that special to me. This one wasn't that special to me. And the reason why it wasn't that special, because not much out of the unexpected happened. I mean, the good guys prevailed, won at the end of the day, and there wasn't any major twists or turns in the story. But there was a lot of interesting things. For example, the romance between, Ben and Ray and Ben. Now, although you can't basically see that they're in love, but you can kind of tell the way how throughout Ben carries on. You can tell that he's really got love for her, but obviously he wants to turn her to the dark side, yeah, so that him and her can rule the whole empire together, and it didn't end up happening. But the good thing about it was that they got that romantic moment in that film, which I think was cool. This Star Wars to me felt like a Star Wars with the hidden romance in the midst of it, clear to see, like hidden in plain sight. For example, with Rey, there's so many characters in Star Wars, Chewbacca, yeah, I'd say that Chewbacca he played a good part in the film, and I almost got emotional in the film, believe it or not, because Chewbacca has a unhappy ending in the middle of the film, which gets sorted out later on. But yeah, I basically thought Chewbacca was gone, and the way how he was gone, the way how he was made to die, basically made me feel really, really sad. But yeah, I think in general, a lot of the things are like the way how all Star Wars films are. If you watched the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, or whatever you all do, and call it episode 1 and 2 and 3, which came out later on, and then you watch the first ones, the whole story actually ties together. Except I haven't seen the story, the one about Han Solo's story. I haven't seen that, so I don't know how that mixes into all the other films. But all the films link together quite well, even this one. But the action in the film was like your usual Star Wars things. There was no really special scenes that made me feel like, whoa, this was like something new, something special with Star Wars. I was expecting something better. But there's one thing I must admit. Ben, who he's the son of Leia, yeah. Him, I liked the way how they showed his progression in the way how he fights compared to the first movie. I mean, the first movie he fighted really sloppy. in this movie he actually fighted with some technique. That's something I liked. It showed that he grew in the way how he was able to kind of like conquer, you know. Um, as for Rey, I mean Rey, she's just, you know, she was a Jedi in training. She was still training while this was all going on in the second film. So there was a bit of progression made in her. You could see it in her, but when she actually started fighting and doing tricks, I expected more of a sort of Jedi tricks more often in the film. But no, it didn't show that she's got that full power of the Force. You know, it seemed like Ben had more power of the Force than Rey. The timing of the film, I must say, it's the usual type of Star Wars time. So if you need to have a good few hours to spend to watch Star Wars, you have to have that time. If you don't have that time, then you're not really a Star Wars fan. You most probably won't get into the film. But yeah, you got to put a few hours aside to sit down and really watch and get immersed in the film. But very important thing, I should have said this in the very beginning. If you want to come into this Star Wars film and watch it for the first time, I strongly recommend that you watch the other Star Wars films first so you know what's going on. Because if not, you're going to have a lot of questions and they will not be answered unless you watch the previous Star Wars film. So basically, to watch a new Star Wars film, up until this point, you need to understand the past, because the story is not going to make much sense to you. You'll get a good outline of the story, but you're going to be lost, because even in this film, it seemed like there had quite a few little mini stories going on within the main big script. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the death toll was the usual type of thing in Star Wars, but I didn't expect some of the main characters to just be gone forever in the Star Wars world into the Force. And I didn't like the fact that, you know, Ben ended up in the Force instead of actually kind of like being there to the bitter end and, you know, helping rebuild the resistances against the empires, and, you know, making the world, the galaxy, the universe, whatever you call it, a better place together with Rey. I wish that the visions that happened with Rey had came true, and that her and him sat on the throne together and ruled. Whether it was bad or good ruling, as long as they ruled together, I think that would have been, you know, a real good thing about the film. To actually give the film a rating, right, from a Star Wars watcher perspective, I can't call myself a cult fan because I can't remember every single bit of every single film. So from what I saw, right, from this film and the last one together, and just to kind of rate this one on its own, I would give this one with out of 5 stars, I'll give it 4 stars. Believe it or not, I'll give the film 4 stars, because I have to treat Star Wars as its own universe, its own entity. So I've got to treat it as a Star Wars film within that. I can't judge it against any other film. I mean, it's Star Wars, and it has got to be treated with respect and treated on its own. So in the Star Wars range, I'll give the film 4 out of 5 stars. There's a lot of upsetting bits in it to me, but it makes the story flow. It seems to conclude the Star Wars saga. Literally, I can't see them doing much more after this, because this Star Wars film basically puts an end to a lot. The war's practically over in the film. So if they're gonna make another Star Wars film, they'll have to find, you know, a new villain and a new person that's gonna rise up through the ranks of the resistance, against the resistance, and start a new empire which will come and try and take over the galaxies. I mean, they've got the potential to do it. They have got the potential to do it, and it's not impossible. I mean, the writers of Star Wars, the ones that made up these new ones, I'm sure they've got a plan to put in another one to make another few £1 billion. But in general, I think that Star Wars is a good watch. Only if you're into Star Wars, only if you're a Star Wars fan. I mean, I had my upsets in the film, and I think I made them to you about my upsets, you know. But in general, the film was great. I'll give it 4 stars. I wouldn't compare it to any other film. You have to keep it within the Star Wars saga, the Star Wars franchise, and just respect it for where it is. But if you're gonna watch the film for the like, and you don't watch any other Star Wars film, please watch all the other Star Wars films first. So you got like basically 15 hours or maybe 18 hours worth of Star Wars films to watch before you watch this one, before you get the full revelation and understanding of what is actually going on. I'll leave it there at that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. Please leave your comments and yeah, leave your comments. Let me know what you think and I will read them and I'll let you know. But thanks for supporting and goodbye.